The British and Irish selections are taking place tomorrow, so I thought let's make a last-ditch prediction. So today we're going to run through what our team / what we think Andy Farrell's team is going to look like as we kind of go into this British and Irish Lions series that is building momentum and excitement. There's not going to be any special too much to it. I'm going to run through the players I think should go in there and then probably the starting lineup that I would look at if I was starting the first game if I was in Farrell's position. So I'm just going to run through the team. I'm going to kind of give a couple of reasons why I think players belong where they belong, and then we'll go from there. I want to hear everyone else's opinion. But to start, let's start with the hookers. Front row hookers, start with them. 3 players to come to mind. 2, I think, are guaranteed. I think you're going to take Dan Sheehan and Jamie George. I think that third one's up for grab. Kelleher, Cowan Dickey, and Dewey Lake are the 3 I've kind of got bracketed to kind of go into that position. I've gone Dewey Lake. I think he's one of those unsung heroes for Wales, even though they haven't had success. He's been really good. Not as good as Jack Morgan, but still in that realm. Captained the team for a bit there, so has some leadership qualities. I could easily see it being one of those other 2, but just for my belief, Dewey Lake gets in there. The props, gone with 6 props. We've got Andrew Porter, Alice Genge, Tard Furlong, Xander Fagerson, Will Stewart, and Pierre Showman. Again, Finlay Bellum, I think, is about the only one that I think maybe a bit unlucky, but even that, I think these 6 pretty much select themselves. The starting front rows, realistically, for England, Ireland, Scotland, are going to get into this team. So I don't see anyone being a surprise there. Only injury changes something in there. The locks, we start to get a bit more interesting. Kind of those front rows sorted themselves out. You know, there's a couple of positions maybe up for grabs, but really I think those 9 are going to be in there, or at least 8 of them will be in there. The locks, I think you got 4 again that are, to me, are guaranteed. I've got Tad Burney, Mario Itoje, Ollie Chessum, Joe McCarthy. I know people are all over with McCarthy, and his performances probably haven't been great to date. That leaves kind of one locking position. Again, you're talking a year ago, 2 years ago, you'd been saying James Ryan without a doubt from Ireland. But I've gone George Martin. I know he hasn't probably, again, had the greatest year. There's many options out there, Daffodil Jenkins as well, a few others that come to mind. But I really like the way George Martin plays. His big units, gets his head into the dirty places. I think Farrell will like that. So I've gone George Martin. But don't be, I wouldn't be amazed if this was an Irish player as well. Back row, it all gets fiery, all right? We've got a lot to kind of select from. The big question mark, obviously, at the moment is Caelan Doris. Willie won't be there. He's obviously selected if he is there, putting his name up for captain. If he was there, with him being an asterisk, I've gone with Mario Itoje to be captain in the squad. But Caelan Doris, if he's there, selected, we'll talk about if he's not. I've then got Ben Earl, Henry Pollock, Tom Curry, Jack Morgan, and then I've got 3 players bracketed. Got Willis, obviously from Toulouse, Josh van der Fleer, and Rory Darge. I think they take Josh van der Fleer. In all honesty, I think they take Willis. I think his performances for Toulouse over the past few years has been so good, I think it's hard to ignore, and I think he gets selected in the back row. Halfbacks, Alex Mitchell, Jamison Gibson Park, 2 easy ones there. I think 2 of the best halfbacks in the world. The third one is a 2-player battle. Thomas Williams from Gloucester, I believe it is, who has been absolutely killing the premiership, and Ben White from Scotland, who, again, has been very good, but I've gone Thomas Williams. I just think his performance in the premiership needs to take, I guess, selection above his just Welsh, his Welsh ability. But yeah, I can't see him not being selected based on form. Fly halves, we get into the really interesting business. A lot of, I guess, topics, a lot of points to go here. Finn Russell, Finn Smith, 2 guarantees for me. I think both of them have played their way into this team. Russell on experience alone, Smith into his performances and form. The other position, there's obviously Prendergast, Marcus Smith, and George Ford. I've got Marcus Smith. I just think, again, he's electric. When he does get on the field, he can cover an outside bit back as well. I really like Marcus Smith. I know it means Prendergast misses out, and he plays an Irish style really well, but has had some question marks about his defence and his other performance. And then George Ford's probably the unlucky one here. You know, again, a year ago, you probably would have said he would have been right in the mix here, and I've gone with him missing out. In the midfield, I've got 5 in the midfield. Bundyaki, Siona Topolotu, Hugh Jones, Gary Ringrose. That covers me 12 and 13 quite well. The missing piece here, I've selected Owen Farrell. I think Farrell will select Farrell. And I don't think it's a wrong selection. I think it's a wrong selection if you're going to select him in the fly half group. I think select him in the midfield with his ability to play fly half. But he's an out-and-out 12 now. And do I think he starts over like Tui Pilotu or Aki? No. But I think he's definitely in the squad. Again, experience, ability. I do think he makes the squad, and I think deservedly so. And then we finish with the outsides. Look, 5 outside. I've kind of restricted myself here. If I don't take Farrell, I can have an extra one. But I've gone James Lowe. I think, again, one of the best left wingers in the game. Tommy Freeman has to be in there for my thing, for my belief. His performances to date have just been unreal. I've gone Blair Kinghorn, Hugo Keenan. I think those also select themselves. So that kind of leaves one wing position open for Darcy Graham, Duhan van der Merwe, anyone else wanting to put their name up. I've gone Duhan I know, over Darcy, and I know I tend to think Darcy is the better player, but I think the X factor of Duhan is what you need. And my belief with Blair Kinghorn able to play on the wings as well, it just gives you the ability to select players, to be able to put him in if you need an X factor, if you need a moment of brilliance. I've gone that way. I don't know. I don't know about that one. That one's a tough one. It's hard when you've got a lot of quality out in the backs, especially in the back 3 at the moment. So run into the starting team then. Dan Sheehan starting at hooker for me. Props, I'm going Porter and Stewart. I think those two, Will Stewart to me has been fantastic this year. Locks, Mario with obviously his captaincy. I'm going to go Tad Burney as well. I think he's a better lock than 6. Ireland have tested him out at 6, but he's a lock. Back row, looking at the back row, there's lots of ways you could go about it. If Doris is fit, he's obviously the 8. I've gone Curry at 6, Van der Fleer at 7, but I could also go Willis at 7. I could go Morgan at 7. I could go Pollock at 7, and I don't really like Pollock at 7 there, but I think they'll go Van der Fleer to start off. If Doris isn't fit, Ben Earl goes to 8 in my little structure here. Halfback, we have, in my opinion, this should be the starting halfback, Alex Mitchell, and the starting fly half should be Finn Smith. The way they played for Northampton over Leinster recently, I would start that as a 9 and 10. I know it's not starting Finn Russell, and I know it's a big decision, but what I've seen from those two, that's where I would go. If you don't, and again, we're trying to pick Farrell's team, he'd probably go to Gibson Park for Finn Russell, and that's totally understandable. I'd go the other way. In the centres, Tui Pilotu, obviously, he's come back from injury. I'd still select him at 12. I'd go him at 12, Hugh Jones at 13. I'd keep that Scotland combo. Then on the wings, James Lowe on one wing, Tommy Freeman at the other wing. Fullback, either Kinghorn or Keenan. I'm going to stick Kinghorn there now, but you could easily swap out Keenan, and that would be my starting 15 to take on the Wallabies in the first test. There's my squad. There's my starting 15. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have different thoughts. Let me know who I missed out. All of that good stuff. If you do like these videos, please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.